everybody. Welcome back to another thrilling new episode of the eyeBytes podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Daniel, and with me as always, the Daniel Jackson to my Jack O'Neill, Sajandeep. How you doing, man?
I'm doing well. How are you doing, man?
Pretty good. You see, I threw in a Stargate reference right there. It's showing my inner nerd, you know? Of course, you're half my age. You know, I have no idea what I'm talking about. So, but yeah, how have you been, man? It's been a while since we recorded. We're not really keeping our promise of once a month, sadly.
Well, you know what?
July?
Well, yeah, because first of all, it takes me forever to edit this darn thing. And then second of all, it takes us forever to record the next one. And then it takes me longer to edit. But you know what? I think give it, because we're in TechTember right now, as all kind of YouTuber, you know, a bunch of YouTubers call it.
Where did you get that expression? TechTember.
TechTember? I got it from the Waveform podcast, the MKBHD.
Okay.
They call it...
Why can't you just call it Techtober, Techember?
Because December...
December.
September is like the most... more...
I get it. Yeah. Apple, Google, all their events.
Yeah, that's why they call it. Because all these big companies are kind of doing their own events. That's why people always kind of call it TechTember, because a lot of technology is coming out. Anyway, what was the quick question you asked me again?
Last time we talked was before you went to Lake Joe. So for starters, how was Lake Joe?
No, we talked about Lake Joe.
Last time we recorded, I think you were about to head out to Lake Joe.
Oh yeah. Oh my God, a lot. Yeah, time passed. A lot of things happened.
Wow, yeah, it's been 2 months.
A lot of stuff happened. Okay. Yeah, no, Lake Joe was actually quite fun. I went tubing the first time in my entire life.
Yeah, cool.
Really bumpy and bouncy and stuff, but it was fun.
Yeah, it's a bouncy tube. It happens.
But like the waves, you know, because the boat in front of us is like pushing the water towards us, and then we're like bouncing over on those waves, right? So it kind of makes sense when you're going fast. It really shakes a person up. Just letting you know, if you want to go tubing, make sure you go on an empty stomach, because I was lucky. I didn't have any issues, and I haven't heard anyone having issues. So anyway, but other than that, it was actually quite fun. We met new people. I was piloting some of tandem bikes. Went rock climbing. We painted some rocks. So I was actually painting one, and in the middle of, or the halfway while I was painting it, I'm like, what is this like rainbow thing that I'm doing? I'm like, you know what? I know it's a rock. Yeah, I know. But I'm like, you know what? Let me make a nice, cool little rock that I can put in my room, but like use the colors of the eyeBytes and like put the word eyeBytes and like engrave that. Right? So cool. I did that, but they gave me the wrong one when I went home. No. And when I was on the bus heading back home, it dawned on me. I'm like, oh shoot, I took the wrong rock. I don't even know where it is right now.
So somebody else has the eyeBytes rock and you have another random rock.
Yeah, pretty much.
Wow.
Well, because what happened was while I was leaving, it was really rush. Let's go to our buses, right? And they just handed us whatever they could, all the stuff that we worked on. Like I did a painting thing and some other things. So they gave my stuff. I didn't have time to like see it. I was saying bye to all my friends. And then when I got on the bus, I unpacked everything that they gave me. I looked, I'm like, oh no, that's not the right rock. But anyway, the next time I go next year, if we're doing rock painting again, I can make another one.
Let's see if we can, reach out to the outer webs and whoever is, if anybody's listening to our podcast who went to Lake Joe in July and somehow got a rock that says eyeBytes podcast and was smart enough to realize that, hey, that might be a podcast I might want to look and see if I can find. If you are listening to this podcast now and you have Sajandeep's eyeBytes podcast,
consider yourself lucky.
I was going to say, feel free to reach out to Sajandeep, reach out to our email. I can give you his home address and you can ship his eyeBytes rock.
No, but like you can also consider that lucky. Who knows? Maybe.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's free publicity for the podcast. There we go.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Geez. So, but yeah, it's. I'm glad you enjoyed yourself, man. I know when I went there in June, it was a lot of fun. Like you met some friends, made some new ones, and it was a lot of fun. And I'm glad you enjoyed yourself.
I did. It was actually quite fun. It was actually really fun. I had a blast. I'm planning on going again next year. So
I hope so.
I just hope that more than 3 people do end up going, or 3 or more people end up going from Ottawa, because They don't send out a driver.
That sucks if it's only one person.
I was lucky that I had someone in my family who was willing to take me on an airplane to Toronto, and then from there take another bus from Toronto.
Well, that's good.
So yeah, I was very lucky there, but I don't think that will happen every time. But yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, while you were gone, it was kind of quiet. Not much going on over here. It's been pretty chill. I did figure something out though. There was a project I've been wanting to do for a while. I never got around to doing it because I bought last year. Remember the Zoom H4 Essential recorder I bought? I was trying to find a way to record content off of like cable or that has audio description. Because sometimes you look to Audio Vault, for example, and there's missing some films or TV shows, and sometimes a lot of people will work really hard at digital or recording that stuff and uploading for other people to share. And don't worry, from what I understand, audio description stuff is completely legal with the copyright law in Canada. So, but yeah, I've been getting playing with the Zoom recorder, trying to find. There's a series I discovered that played in the late 2000s called Sanctuary. And I've been able to get my hands on listening to it off the like on air with audio description, and I've been trying to record the episodes so I can share it on Audio Vault so other people can enjoy it as well. So far it's been slowly but surely working. But I managed to figure out how to configure the recorder and the phone so that way I get a nice clean recording, and then bring it into Reaper and do a bit of editing, and then convert it and upload it. So anybody is interested in Sanctuary, keep an ear open on Audio Vault, and you might see seasons upload sometime in the fall. So but also recently bought you bought one new toy, which we can talk about. So you bought a new iPhone.
Yeah, before we get into that, I was going to just mention that, so the Apple event happened. I did, finally, after 5 years of using the iPhone 12 Pro Max.
Suffering with the 12 Pro Max.
No, actually, that was a great phone. I absolutely loved it. I feel like I kind of went backwards because after the 10 came along, Apple redesigned that with stainless steel borders, right? And then it was like that for the Pro models with the 11, the 12, 13, 14. And then with the 15, they switched it over to titanium. And then from the 16, there was titanium. And now they went back to aluminum, the unibody aluminum, right? So the funny thing was that before, my first iPhone ever was the iPhone 7 Plus. That was completely aluminum, right? And then I switched over to 12 Pro Max, which was stainless steel. And it's like, I kind of love that hefty weight because it actually feels like you spent $2,000 on it. In Canada, yes, the phones are $2,000 here.
That's the base model too.
The 256, yes.
So imagine if you bought like the higher. Actually, no, sorry. I think the base model is like
1,700,
more like 1,750, I think, and then the next level up is.
With taxes, it goes to 2,000.
Yeah, with the taxes, when you get just under $2,000 with the taxes.
Yeah, it's like 1,900.
If you go for the 512, it's like 2,050, and then the 1 terabyte used to be 2,350. I'm guessing the 2 terabyte model is probably 2,650 or something.
No, it's just 20. It's actually 29. It's 3,000.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. But with taxes and everything, the 512 was 2,300 for me. Okay, so it was quite expensive for whatever it is. Yeah. So going back to aluminum after using stainless steel. I was actually kind of worried that this phone's going to be light again, like the iPhone 7 Plus, because they put a bigger battery and a vapor chamber and whatever else they have added.
It's good to have a vapor chamber. If the iPhone has gas, it can fart very easily. So, sorry.
No,
I just had to say that one.
But no, because of the bigger cameras and whatever else, that creates that heftiness. Kind of feels more premium in my hand. But I don't know if it's heavier or lighter than the iPhone 12 Pro Max. I haven't really weighed or did any looking into that. But it feels kind of the same as my iPhone 7, my 12 Pro Max. But I just don't like the aluminum. I just don't like it. I don't know. I just got used to. But I do like that there are no fingerprints on this thing because it's a matte finish all around instead of a. But people are saying that the first day the launch day. At the Apple stores, the aluminum people say that it scratches a lot easily, especially on the darker model. I got the blue model, the deep blue, and people are saying that the thing is scratching a lot faster. Now, if I look at the videos and pictures, it's near the MagSafe area, nowhere else actually. And Apple came and said that our MagSafe charger are like worn down, and I guess the metal was scraping them or something, and scratching them. But I was kind of curious because it's still glass on the back where the MagSafe is, right? The iPhone 16s didn't have that issue. So I don't know, maybe even though it's using ceramic shield 1 on the back and then ceramic shield 2 on the front, which apparently is a lot more scratch resistant. If you listen to the video from
Jerry rig everything.
Yeah, he usually used to say, some whatever group, grooves in the level 6 and then deeper grooves at level 7. This time he couldn't say something was 6. There's nothing showing. I think there's like one hairline or something, but then it started off scratching at 7. So I'm glad that this. Yeah, I still put a screen protector on it, but no brainer.
Yeah, like that's you spend so much money on a device like that. Like I know with my 15 Pro Max, like I'm jealous because now you have a newer phone than me.
Yay!
For like many years I had the best phone between you and me, but now you have a better phone. That's okay. I'm still not upgrading. I'm perfectly happy.
You know what? It's fine.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say that I feel there was a bigger jump between the 7 Plus and going to the 12 Pro Max, I waited a year longer. Usually, I waited 4 years or 3 or 4 years from the 7 Plus to the 12 Pro Max. But
don't forget, you're also going from a 7 to a Pro model phone. So that's right there is a bigger jump. Now you're going from a Pro to a Pro. So
I know the Pros didn't exist back then. But I'm just saying that year over year, 5 years, whatever it is now, there was a bigger change, especially in the cameras. If you look at the 12, the 7 Plus had 12 megapixel cameras, and the 12 Pro Max also had 12 megapixel cameras. But the difference inside, because the sensor was a lot larger and whatever, it was a bigger jump in cameras. I know, I'm not saying theoretically there are more features from the 12 to the 17 Pro Max than there are from the 7 to the 12 Pro Max. But I don't use all of them. And it's more complex, but I like it. It's good to have all these features and great. It's a great thing. Having, like for software things, if Apple really actually nailed down Apple Intelligence and actually did whatever they showed at the Apple event 2 years ago, I think it would have been a more big of a jump, and I would have been more impressed because software is like half of the story of the phone, right? And when Apple introduced some voiceover features to use, what do you call that again? When the buttons are not labeled correctly, what is it? Yeah, screen recognition. Screen 7 didn't have that. The iPhone 7 didn't have that. So because it wasn't powerful enough, right? And things like that, or taking a picture, then copying stuff from that picture. That's a big thing. I use that a lot when someone's asking, to like send me a piece of, copy something and send it to me, whatever. I can that's in paper. I just take a picture of it and zoom in and then just copy, paste, and send whoever I need to send it to. It's a lot faster. It's a lot easier, but the 7 didn't have that ability. And then I have like a cabinet full of spices. We have just glass containers full of spices. Okay. And there are, some of them have labels on them, some don't. I put chia seeds in my smoothies that I make. Sometimes I can't find that. So with Apple Intelligence, I just held that button down, pointed it, asked Siri, hey, where is the chia seeds located? And it's like the second one from the left on the second shelf. And it was boom right. It was awesome. Even my mom was impressed when I showed it to her. Having something like native versus using a third-party app is a different thing. Yeah. I'm not saying the Seeing AI or Be My Eyes didn't have that ability. It does.
I've used visual intelligence and it's okay. I prefer.
There are more steps required. I do agree with you. Sometimes it's kind of annoying. Like for example, I wanted to see who the package is for. There was an address and then there was some sort of date on it, because delivery date or the shipped date was on it. And when I scanned it with visual intelligence, it was trying to add it to my calendar. I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. I want to ask it, and I want to ask who this package is assigned to. So there was more steps required where I could just point my phone and get Seeing AI to read it to me. So I agree. But I see what Apple's trying to do with Apple Intelligence. They don't want you, but maybe I don't want to do that. So give me my options, right? So
Yeah.
But anyway, other than that, great phone. I love the 120 hertz refresh rate. I love the always on display. I have it set to where when I leave my house, my Apple Watch and my phone always on display turns on. And when I come back home, it turns off. I don't need it.
Okay. Well, talking about the Apple event, let's go over the stuff that they announced. So they announced, obviously, we expected 4 brand new phones, the iPhone 17, iPhone 17 Air, and they have an 17 Pro and Pro Max, like what you bought. They also had new AirPods Pro 3, which I actually bought a pair recently. And they also released a new Apple Watch Series 11 and finally, after a year of bloody waiting, an Apple Watch Ultra 3. And this time it's not just the Ultra 2 with a new paint job. It's an actual new hardware, new processor and everything, which is what I was waiting for last year when I was
a big close-up.
But so this year, saving up a bit, hopefully for my birthday, we'll spoil myself by buying the Ultra 3. For anybody who's interested, Amazon Canada has them with their monthly thing, no interest. So I'm like, you know what? What the heck? I'll buy it. So I got them Friday. They came in. And nice. I have to admit, well, let me just finish by talking about the Apple stuff first, and I'll talk about the AirPods Pro afterwards.
Cool.
But I don't want to go much in details because it's been a couple of weeks since the Apple event. But yeah, like you expect, faster processor, better cameras. The iPhone Air is the one that's got a lot of people talking. I haven't seen any of these phones yet. I'm assuming the 17 and the Pro models are probably the same thing as the 15 Pro models, same shape and design, except it's, the 17 is like the 16 that has the camera button. And like, I don't have that, but I really couldn't care less. But I hopefully will be going to the Apple store next year when I go get my watch, and I will be able to see the iPhones myself.
People were talking about that. You know how 3D touch was a thing for a bit, and then people didn't know because it was a hidden thing. A lot of people didn't use it, and Apple spent a lot of money, R&D, to like implement it into screens. So they got rid of it, right? Do you think Apple will do the same thing with the camera button? But I absolutely love it, though.
Look, it might be on there for a while. If they get a lot of feedback that people just don't care about it, they might remove it. Who knows? But if people like it, they might keep it. Who knows?
Because for me, hitting those buttons, like you can customize it where when you swipe on it, it will just zoom, like do a pinch to zoom in. It will switch the lens if it needs to, but it will also do software zoom. But you can also switch it to where when you swipe on it, it just changes the lens to the next one without losing any quality. That's what I want to do. Now, there are small little tiny little buttons on the screen where you can just quickly jump from ultra wide to 2x to 4x to 8x, right? Now, when you have a complex scene in front, those buttons for me is hard for me to see. So using the little swipey gesture at the top with my index finger, I can just go from one lens to the other without losing any quality. If I try to use pinch to zoom in, I'm using software zoom, and I can't tell if I'm using software zoom versus the native lens without losing quality, because you don't want to use software zoom. You want to avoid that if you can, to get the sharpest image. So I absolutely love that feature. And then holding halfway and then forcing it in to take the picture like an actual DSLR is amazing.
Well, that's like, hopefully that's the thing I think would be very useful, is they can allow you, the user, to customize that camera button a little bit more. So that way you could take, like me, what I would love if ever they did this was to allow a shortcut on that, or even bypass visual intelligence and use Be My AI and using that one instead to pressing the camera button.
Yeah, because right now,
Be My AI,
you can customize it to open the camera app in Instagram instead, but I think this Be My Eyes have to just implement it. I think it's already there, but I don't think it's as customizable.
Well, the action button, you can customize that. You have like presets you can choose from. Like I can have visual intelligence set up on the action button, or I can use a shortcut. And I've got a shortcut that automatically takes a photo and sends it to Be My Eye and processes it and gives me back a description right away. Yeah. So I had that for a while, but I'm just so used to having the silent mode or the ring mode that I just always go back to leaving the action button to just do that.
For me, I actually kind of like that they got rid of it, because what I have is set up is, you know how I have the bedtime thing set up in the clock. So whenever that kicks in, whenever my wind down kicks in, it automatically turns on mute, and then in the morning when my alarm turns off, it turns it back off.
Okay.
So it's kind of cool in that regard, and I kind of like the phone ringing, and I can also like set up another shortcut. Maybe when I leave my house, it will turn on mute, and then when I'm back at my house, it turns off mute.
Okay.
Because my watch rings anyways, so it's kind of cool that they, it's more customizable now. The mute switch.
Well, that was the so I know that people were talking about the Air because it's new. It's thin. When I've read it, it looks like the 6 Plus basically. But the downside is, and this I think people should know about, it might be a great phone, but one of the drawbacks, it only has one speaker instead of two, and it's the earpiece is a speaker. And so,
but this year, Apple actually did wonders with the earpiece. I don't know about the iPhone Air if they have the same earpiece as the iPhone 17 Pro Max has, but the speaker is you can tell that the earpiece speaker is a lower quality speaker from the bottom one, the bottom firing one. Now it's equal.
Well, I know compared to the 15, like I know for me, when I went from my 11 to the 15 Pro Max, I was like, yeah, like what the heck? The earpiece is nice and louder.
Because but this year they did it even better.
The earpiece was in front where the glass was, and it kind of got dirty after a while. And then the earpiece was, it wasn't clear anymore. But this here, I'm guessing it must be on the top edge where the glass meets
it's in the frame now,
edge.
In the bezel.
So it's not as likelihood it's going to get dirty as much. So I like that more. And I agree that the speaker there, like the earpiece is nice and louder. And I've had my phone for 2 years, and I don't think the audio quality has diminished in any way. But I always have my AirPods or headphones on anyways when I'm listening to my phone. Very rarely. And when I'm out and about, I have the speaker, but
but then also another thing that I wanted to let you know, I was asking ChatGPT this actually. My brother had the iPod 5th generation. I don't know if you felt that one before, and then that thing is thin. Okay, it's actually thin. It's quite thin. And the iPod Touch 6th generation and the iPod Touch 7th generation, the last RIP to iPod, the last one, the Touch series, anyways. Well, any iPod anymore. But it actually is the same thinness, 6.1 millimeters, right? Or is it 5.1 or 5 point something? The Air is like 5 point something, but the AirPod, the iPod is 6.1 millimeters. So it's kind of wild to see a phone. Again, I haven't felt it yet, but I think it's actually kind of ridiculous. But then also getting people to bend the thing, and they couldn't bend it with their hands, and how thin that is. That's wild.
That's good because I think Apple learned their thing with the bend gate with the 6 and 6 Plus. Because I remember that was a big thing.
It's 5 o'clock.
I got my 6 Plus. Like, yeah, these things can bend. I'm like, yeah, but why would you want to bend your phone? Like, seriously? Like, I get it. You put it in your pocket. You might sit down. You might bend it. But I'm like, okay, well, fine. Put a case in.
But I think, because it was bending, but it wasn't bending to the extent there where it was going to be unusable or it's going to break. People just looked at it and they're like, but I understand it was an expensive thing and you don't want something to just bend when you just sit on it accidentally or whatever. But I mean, having the one camera, but then having that big plateau on the back, the camera plateau, is still going from one edge to the other. I thought the iPhone Air would just have one like camera bump like it was always, and the flash beside it. But no, the flash is on the left-hand side and the camera's on the right-hand side.
Okay.
And the reason why the plateau is there because they pushed everything into that plateau because that's the part that like sticks out from the back. That's like the more thicker part at the top. But the bottom part where you hold, that's where the battery is. And that part is really, really, really thin.
My phone's unmuted. Sorry. But so besides those phones, talk about the AirPods Pro 3. Like I said, I got a pair. And my AirPods Pro 2s were, transparency is not that great on my AirPods Pro 2s. The 3s, though, it's kind of nice to go back to headphones where I can hear my my home again. Because before with the 2s, I couldn't hear anything. It was kind of muffled, and of course my Apple Care was expired, so I couldn't hear anything anyways, and I couldn't fix them if I wanted to. But with these here, they're shaped a little bit differently than the AirPods Pro 2s. I find they do go in the ear a little bit more, and they stay in the ear a little bit more.
Yeah, they do. They go a little bit deeper, and then also they do have foam tips inside. Like it's not it's still covered with silicone. Some people thought that they just replaced it with foam tips. No, there's foam inside, but it's still wrapped around with silicone.
Okay. Well, they're comfy. I don't regret buying them. Especially like I said, my AirPods Pro 2, the Apple Care is expired, so I was like,
But also another thing that what Apple needs to stop doing. I understand maybe the chip is not ready yet or whatever. They should not be releasing new devices and calling it a whole different name if it still has the same chip.
So you could call these the AirPods Pro 2S.
Yeah, exactly. I'm serious. Like even the S series iPhones had a bigger or a better chip than the previous gen. Right? After 3 years, there's no new chip. I'm genuinely surprised.
Yeah, maybe they had a new chip ready. It just wasn't ready yet.
I don't know, but then don't ship it out yet. Because I mean, I have a feeling. Yeah, these things are expensive, right? They're like $450 if you want to get Apple Care Plus with it, right? Or $430 or whatever it is. It's like the $329 Canadian, right? And then with taxes, I think it's $400. Sorry, yeah. Anyway, so I'm just trying to say is that with the same chip, yes, you have improved the ear tip. You have redesigned it slightly so it fits better. And you've included an extra ear tip. There's 5 now in total, right? It has a heart rate sensor, but then not including a new chip, increasing the battery life, which is awesome, by the way. Yeah. Good job. But I feel I don't know. It feels weird to me having a new product, but the brains are still the same as the old one.
Yeah, but we don't. Again, like we don't know what happens behind closed doors. Maybe they had an H3 chip that they were working on, and they thought, oh, maybe we'll be able to get it done on time. But something happened. And, we can't release it with a new chip. How about we just release it with the H2? So. I get it, frustration. Like you're still paying the same amount for. It's kind of like that Apple Watch Series 2 that they had last year, where it's like the internals, the guts are the same, but it's black now.
But this year they actually did add more to it, so it is different. Generally, it's different.
It's nice to have that if you have a watch. I'm glad they never put cameras in there because that's one thing I was like, oh, please don't put cameras in the freaking AirPods because I'm like, that's going to drain the battery like crazy.
I don't think they'll put cameras there.
The one thing I did have troubles with, though, is I had to reset my AirPods. There's a more physical button in the back. You have to tap the front twice.
Yeah, the AirPods Pro does 4.
Yeah, I know. I was like, how do I do that? I'm like, what the heck? I need to reset these things, but I don't know how.
Why you had to reset them?
I Googled it and I found the instructions.
No. Why did you have to reset them? What happened?
Oh, it's because I tried to change one of the settings in there. It has to do with like the environmental noise sounds.
Yeah.
And you could go adjust the level, and it was like at 50% by default. When I switched it to 100. For some odd reason, that slider was not accessible. I don't know how I managed to get it to 100 because I couldn't even go up or down with it, and then I couldn't bring it back down to 50. And I'm like, well, no, I want to leave it back the way it was. So I was trying to reset it. I couldn't figure out how to reset. So I just had to Google it, and I found an Apple support page that mentioned, okay, well, if you're using the AirPods Pro 3s, here's what you got to do. And I was like, okay. And I was like, ChatGPT, like how long do I have to wait between double taps before I do the next one? Like, should I wait like a couple of seconds? Because that's the one thing. It's just double tap until the light changes this or flashes like this. And I'm like,
that's putting in pairing
mode. I can't
mode.
see the light. How am I supposed to know when I should double tap again? And
doesn't it chime though? It has a speaker in it.
Yeah, but I don't think it. I don't know.
I don't think it chimes when it resets, but it does chime when it's in pairing mode.
Yeah, but I don't think it chimes when it's ready for you to double tap again. Yeah. It chimes after you've double tapped, but not before. Yeah. So you don't have an audio cue when to double tap the front again. But I managed to reset them, and they're working fine now. Not that I had a problem before, but it's. Look, they're good headphones. I do like them a lot, and compared to my AirPods Pro 2s, which were like due for the get replaced, but I can't. I even tried cleaning my AirPods Pro 2s with a bit of rubbing alcohol and a Q-tip to see if I can just like kind of clean a bit of the tips and everything, but it didn't do nothing. I think it's just the microphones are just screwed up on it or whatever. I'm not sure, but I know transparency doesn't work well anymore on it. But at least these new ones, they sound clearer.
The battery, right? It's the battery. If the battery doesn't have enough juice to give it the original power anymore, then obviously it is gonna degrade.
Well, it's the second pair I have where it does this. It's like the left ear is kind of muffled a bit, and I'm like, that's weird.
I'm glad that they fixed the issue with the first generation AirPods where the thing started crackling. That really drove me nuts. But I'm glad they fixed that with the AirPods Pro too.
Okay, well, moving on to continuing with the Apple channel here, we have Apple updates that came out last Monday. iOS, Mac OS, iPad OS, Vision OS, TV OS, Watch OS. All the OSs are now up to version 26 now. I will continue. Well, I normally wait till the 0.1 release is out before I update all my devices, unless if I go on AppleViz and I read some of the forum topics and people say that, if it's, you got some bugs, but you can deal with it. If it's a major issue, then I usually wait. But if it's not a major issue, I figured out what the heck. So I updated everything to iOS, like the version 26. And I've got some glitches in the TV app, some glitches in the AirPods when you want to select, for example, when you go into the noise control settings where you can select which mode you want to toggle through. That's unlabeled. Like it's not labeled properly. It's like
I've actually reported that the Apple hasn't fixed it, but you can still go to your control center, double tap and hold the volume, and you can do the same thing. And then it's accessible.
Yeah, but there's other areas where Apple can improve a few things here and there, but for the most part, it's I can tolerate these glitches, no big deal. But so far it's working well for me. I haven't had any issues with the Mac, the Watch, the phone, and the Apple TV. Even the HomePod's had a update to 26 as well. But so far it's been pretty stable. The only thing I have to say, and AppleViz did report this, some people who update to iOS 26 when they reboot their phones, VoiceOver is completely disabled for some odd reason. I did not have that on my 15 Pro Max, but I did have that on my work 13 Pro Max. When it rebooted, VoiceOver was completely gone. I could not turn it on. I couldn't get Shlomo to turn it on. I could hear the clicking of the keyboard, but I could not turn it on. And because I have my my screen set to 5% brightness, I had to have a sighted family member come over, and they literally had to go in my bathroom where it's pitch black, and they could then see the screen and type in the password. And as soon as I typed it in and I logged in, then boom, my VoiceOver came back on, and it's never left. So that is something to be aware of, and AppleViz has put that.
I would recommend having it either a triple click of the side button, or
you can always find a workaround.
Make sure you guys have that set up though.
Yeah, but the thing is, the triple click didn't work either. Like your typical triple click to turn it off.
But you you have any other action set up? Just VoiceOver?
It's just VoiceOver. And even at the login screen, I think because when you reboot, you have to unlock in order to decrypt the drive. And I think because of that, like I couldn't get Shlomo to start. I couldn't toggle it off and on. And I did like 20, 30 times triple clicking, and nothing happened. And I was like, okay, well, and that was one of the things that people mentioned on AppleViz. Like, no, it doesn't happen to everybody, but it did happen to some. And I thought, that's not going to happen to me. But
because Apple actually introduced a feature where it's actually in the back end, it's hidden. In case if your iPhone ever bricks, and you have to there's a built-in recovery mode now in iOS 26. Okay. So you don't have to have a Mac to reboot it and re-download iOS anymore. Oh, okay. It's built into the iOS system. Mm-hmm. And I think that could be part of it where it's trying to, load something, and I'm sure that will fix it though. Yeah.
Oh yeah. The only thing I didn't like is, so on the Mac, I have, last year I bought a M4 Mac Mini, just so I can play around with it and kind of. And now another thing I did that I don't know if I mentioned, I also got the Farrago app, Audio Hijack, and the Loopback app from Mogamoeba, and they're fully accessible and they're awesome apps. But one thing that I had to do though is there's no headphone jack in the back of the Mac Mini, only in the front. So what I did is I bought a Ugreen USB-C to 3.5 headphone jack, and then I took out my old Bose speakers from mothballs and plugged them in, and they worked fine. But then after updating, what happened is when you get to the login screen, I normally had my voiceover configuration loading at the beginning when I logged in, before I logged in. But when I installed the update and then rebooted, it was the very quiet, very slow, and very basic Samantha voice for voiceover. And it was coming out of the built-in speaker and not my Bose speakers. I'm like, what is happening? I eventually found out what it was. It was somehow the file vault was enabled. I had turned that off originally. And somehow with the update, Apple decided to turn it on without getting my permission. And that's what caused my Mac to be that. As soon as I turned that off, now when I boot up, it's nice and loud.
I think before it was set to off by default, maybe. And then Apple.
Well, when you set up the first time, in the setup process, it does ask you if you want to turn on File Vault. And I usually have off.
So I think this year they've basically have it on by default, but people who had it off, it actually turned it on for them too.
I'm like, no, dude. It's like if somebody have it off, like don't force something on for somebody when they had it off. Like it's not the end of the world. I turned it off and it fixed everything back to normal. But it's just like,
sometimes things happen.
Yeah, and that the updates are really clear. No issues, no major issues, anyways. Besides those little few glitches, other than that, how about you? What do you think of iOS 26? You've been on the beta for a while, actually.
Since June, yeah, I've been testing it. We
gotta try that live translation thing now over the phone calls. We haven't tried that out yet.
Yeah, I was just gonna give you a call, and let you like set it up on your end so you know how to do it, but. No, we should try that. I think it's going to be the same speed, but anyway, we'll see. We can give it a shot because I know the last time I set it up on my iPad, it was a little slow because you weren't on iOS 26. Yeah. So we'll give it a shot. Yeah, I've been testing iOS since June, and my goodness, the phone was running really, really hot. Plus, I had an older phone.
I had a 12 Pro Max, an old phone.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. But near the end, they fixed a lot of issues, especially the last two betas. They sped up things a lot fast. Like apps open like instantly now. Even my iPhone 12 Pro Max feels new, actually. I'm not going to lie. That's why I was like part of it. I'm like, should I? Because one day before the iPhone launch day, that's why I called you at night. I'm like, should I buy the thing? Because I'm like, this phone's pretty speedy. But because I was running earlier betas, it was kind of slowed and it was really, really hot. But then when Apple fixed everything, then the latest things, it kind of felt like a newer phone to me. Yeah. But then I'm like, I want Apple Intelligence. I want the new cameras. I want this. You know what? It's okay. Well,
after 5 years, like I get it. Some people upgrade every year, every couple of years. I know back, when you bought your phone through your provider's plans, you would then upgrade you had the option to upgrade every couple of years. And for me, that's when I got my 11. And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to upgrade. Because these things cost so much. And even after 2-3 years, like my phone was still snappy. It was still working fine. I didn't really care much about the new upgrade.
Yeah, before
I just made it last as long as I could. And now with the 15 Pro Max, it's the same thing. Like I'm not getting rid of this phone anytime soon. Like I'm going to make this.
The problem is
for at least 5 years.
The thing was back then, the processors were not that. Yeah, there were big leaps in processors, but you actually noticed the difference because your day-to-day tasks got better. But now processors are so fast that day-to-day tasks are really fast. You don't notice it. Yes, they still increase the, speed and whatnot, like 2x by 4x or whatever. It does get better over the year over year. But if you're not going to use your device, whatever they advertised it for, you're not going to notice that much of a difference because the day-to-day tasks that you do to open applications or whatnot, they are going to be snappy no matter what because the processors, we're there now. We're at that point where the processors are able to handle those tiny little, small little things, day-to-day tasks, and you don't notice a difference. But other than that, I mean, the iPhone, yeah, you can get like 900 or whatever, like 1,000, half the price, half of the value is gone a year later, right? Is it worth updating? The thing is that it kind of, I think of it, there are 365 days in a year. If you look at your screen time settings, some people have up to like 200 to 400 pickups a day. You pick your phone up that many times a day, right? 400 to 200 times a day. That's wild. And you pick up, you do things, people make money off of it, people use it. Yes, you can technically if you think of how much you use your phone and what it does for you, and if you think of it that way, I think upgrading every year, no problem. It is worth it depending on how much you use it, right? But because the processor and all the things, those incremental upgrades are not worth it anymore. Like it used to be a thing before, but not anymore because your day-to-day tasks are not changing drastically. When you wait to 3-4 years, that's when you're like, you know what? Now I'm getting features from this iPhone. Like for example, for me, going from the 12 Pro Max, they've introduced the 120 hertz refresh rate with the iPhone 13 Pros. Then they introduced always on display with the 14s. Then they added the action button that is customizable with the 15s. And they added the camera control with the 16s. Now I'm getting all that with the 17, right? And plus more whatever they added this year. With a vapor changing cooling system and the better cameras. So it's a big upgrade for me. If I go next year, they add one feature, it's not going to be worth spending again the same amount or more. For me anyway, right? You could definitely, I mean, again, it's your money. I'm just saying in general.
Yeah.
If you think about it, how much you use your phone every single day, it does add up. That you can easily justify. No, well, you can't justify what obviously if you can't afford it, then yeah, you can't justify it. But I mean, thinking of how much you use it versus how much you don't, and how much it will help you get up in the morning because you can set an alarm. Help you sleep by, I don't know, putting a little lullaby for your kids. I don't know. I mean, you could do whatever you want on your phone. There are so many things that you can do on these devices. But then now at this point, it is all about the developers, what they can do, what kind of applications they're throwing at it.
Well, being a part of the blind community as well, like for us, unless it's just something earth-shattering that can help our daily lives, like it's not really worth upgrading. But
with screen recognition, I was mentioning with the 7. It helped me a lot.
But, exactly. But if you have like a phone, like for me, the 15 Pro Max, like I have a lot of the features. Yeah, I don't have the camera button. I don't have some of the stuff you might have. But at the end of the day, I'm like, it does pretty much everything I still need. And the 16 and 17
day-to-day tasks, I was mentioning,
it doesn't really have like you said, like it doesn't have anything that can change my life in this drastic way. That it's like, well, no, there's no point. Plus, I spent so much money on this thing that I'm just old school and cheap. I just don't want to fork out. I don't have the kind of money to throw every year. Being blind, I'm a limited budget. So I rather just, like, I didn't mind spending a little bit that year to going from the standard iPhone to the Pro version. But to me, it's like, this is an investment that I'm putting in for at least 4 or 5 years. And hopefully it's going to serve the purpose for the next 5 years. And well, plus I also have my family members who are already lining up behind me saying, when you get rid of your phone, we'll take it off your hands. I'm like, yeah, get in line. My dad's like, yeah, when you get rid of your phone, I'll take it. I'm like, yeah, I'm not getting my phone for another 3 more years. And plus my youngest niece has first dibs on this phone. Now it depends on, when in 3 years from now, if they still want it or not, but we'll see.
Versus if you dropped and cracked it versus the pandemic.
Well, mine's in a case. I've when I first got mine 2 years ago, we were listening to Flossie Carter, and he was doing reviews on the iPhone accessories and specifically the Spigen. Because when I got my 6 Plus way back when, I couldn't find a case for it. And Spigen was the first one I spotted. My brother helped me find it. And I've been using their cases ever since, the Tough Armor ones. And I've been using, all my phones have always had those Tough Armor. And with this one here, like as soon as I got my phone and when Flossie did his videos, like I knew I was going to buy the Tough Armor Spigen case with the MagSafe ring on it. But then he was talking about the camera lens protectors and the Spigen Easy Fit screen protector. So I bought all that. So my phone's literally like covered from head to toe. Like the camera lenses are covered, the screen's covered with a screen protector. It's got a case all around it. So my phone's like protected on all sides as best as I can. Specifically, if something happens, like I'm protecting my investment. So
the funny thing is, I bought the ESR is a big company on Amazon now, and I have their iPad Pro case. Excellent case. I love it. The magnetic thing is quite nice. And I have their iPhone case, and the screen protector that they introduced is kind of genius in a way. You have this tray thing. I know that Spigen has a easy fit thing as well, but then this one here is actually quite nice. It's like a book. you put the screen protector on the back, and you peel away the top layer, and you just put the phone in the tray, and it like fits perfectly. Like, you know, it's designed for that, right? And then you basically fold that little cover, you fold it on top of the iPhone, you push it down, it basically adheres, and then you pull the little plastic tab that is holding the screen protector, that peels away, and as you're pulling that aside, it's actually adhering on the phone. And it's a perfect install every single time. And they include you a squeegee.
It was the same thing.
And it is dead simple. And the thing was that my brother, you know, I was getting my brother to help me quickly put it on, but then he was not letting it sit for like 30 seconds because you're supposed to like wait, let it like adhere, press on. He would just press hard and then just lift the thing, and then he ruined two of my screen protectors. So anyway, the third one, I told him to wait, just let it chill for a bit, and then we'll peel it off. Then it stick, no problem. Within 2 days, it fell out of my pocket. It hit something, the corner of it cracked. And within a week, my iPhone 17 Pro Max, within a week. And this never happened to me before, you know. But then I had to go somewhere, and I took the screen protector off, and I did not want to put my phone in my jean pocket because the jeans are rough, and I didn't want to get my phone screen scratched. I know that this new ceramic shield is there and whatnot. It's good, but I want to keep it in a pristine condition. And I went to someone's house while I was sitting in the car, didn't put it in my pocket. While I was there, I just left it on the table somewhere face down. And then when I came back home, I ordered a screen protector. That day when I came back home, it was at home. Yeah. And then when I immediately put that thing on. I did
the same thing with the Spigen one, and it's still the same screen protector I put on 2 years ago, and it hasn't cracked. I've dropped this thing several times. The screen hasn't cracked once on the sucker. Like I keep running my nail around the edges and everything, and I'm not feeling any cracks whatsoever. Now, are there bubbles? I don't know. Like, I don't think there are bubbles. I think the last time I asked, my dad told me that there's no more bubbles, but even if there were, like, I couldn't care less. I can't see them anyways. But
it's protected. It's like, that's all that matters.
Yeah, it's like but I do have a spare one. I have a spare camera lens case as well. But yeah, like, these things they're well built, man. Like, I'm impressed. I dropped my phone several times, like 6 feet off the ground, and yeah, they survived and nothing cracked.
I think mine just hit. I don't know where it fell. I can't remember where it fell, but I think it hit something in like a sharp thing or an end.
Try the Spigen Easy Fit ones. They're tempered glass, and I don't know.
Oh, these are also tempered glass too.
Yeah, but I'm also my dad, like, he has he got himself a 13 last year, and we got a screen protector. I actually did his screen protectors twice on my own with no help whatsoever. Granted, with his, the screen protector itself, like, there's a little gap at the top for the Face ID camera.
Yeah.
So it was easy to me to figure out what
side
order to put it. Yeah. Like, if it was like which side was the top and everything.
Yeah.
While with mine, because there's nothing at the top, it was hard to know which one, where's the top, where's the bottom. Mm-hmm. But once I had that, I was like, yeah, I went on there. My dad's phone was like I did his screen protectors twice on my.
What phone he has now?
He's got a 13, but he got that last year used. He loves it. My mom has an XR that my parents aren't big, heavy smartphone users, but for them it's good enough. But yeah, like, I put my dad's screen protector twice, and not a hitch, no problem at all. And he got the bubbles out for himself, but I put it on there, no problem. And yeah, these little frame that you get now, and you just line it up, it's like perfect every time. And once I think I put it on, and I don't know why it did this, but for some odd reason, when I put it on, everything seemed to be right. When I peeled everything off, the glass screen protector was like half an inch lower.
Oh no!
So it kind of stuck out at the bottom, and then you looked at the top. There's like a half an inch gap between the edge of the phone and the edge of the screen protector. I don't know what the heck happened. I think maybe I might have had it upside down, but even then, I'm like, I don't get how. But it's very possible.
Maybe again,
I'm blind. I can't see nothing. So
maybe it slid when you were peeling it up.
No, not even. I think because these things are taped up on the plastic frame. And I might have put it upside down. That is a possibility. I can't see shit. So I have no idea if it was upright or not. But yeah, these screen protectors, like, I definitely, like, I don't regret overly protecting my phone with all these protectors, and it's definitely worth it in protecting my phone. So, but anyways, we'll move on there because or else we'll be here for like 3 hours. Next on the list, we are shifting gears. Facebook, Meta had an event about a week or two ago, and this is actually pretty incredible. So they came out with a new Ray-Ban Meta second generation. Are they out
on Amazon?
They're probably, I don't know if they're, I think they're out. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Let me buy it right now.
They have the Ray-Ban Oakley. I think they're called the Vanguards. They're the wraparound look, and a lot of people are liking that one. I think a lot of people are. The Ray-Ban Meta 2s are, I think they're $399. They're less than $400 American, and then the Vanguards are $4 something American. And then you have the third pair, which is I think it's the Meta Ray-Ban display, which has a little bit of a display on the right lens that you can see notifications, messages, that kind of stuff. And so that one I think is like $800 American. But this is not the reason why I'm pretty revved up about this. Is one, they created a SDK for third-party developers to develop for the Ray-Bans. And the first one to sign up, Microsoft Seeing AI has signed up to use the SDK to add Seeing AI. I think the short text feature is going to be added to the Ray-Bans.
Oh, that would be so cool.
So you can activate it, but because the SDK is there, that opens up to other developers to do this. But this is not it. Well, hold on. The Meta Ray-Ban display, it was announced shortly after that. This thing has a built-in screen reader, and it has screen. I think like enlarged text. I think it even has. Okay. So all three pairs are accessible to blind users.
Awesome,
which is pretty awesome. Unfortunately, the displays are a little bit over my price range, $800 American. It's like, that's a bit too steep for me. But the fact that they have a built-in screen reader in there, and I think enlarged text that you can add, that's pretty awesome. And an SDK on top of that, so developers can go in there. Now,
do you think the SDK has allowed it to be on the first generations or no?
I don't know. That's the thing. I didn't go much into reading. I know it's going to be available for the second gen versions, but I maybe it might be available. Depends if
the second generation's non-Oakley ones.
The Meta Ray-Bans. I don't know the specs. I didn't look into details on the specs. I think that probably better battery life. I think the Ray-Ban, the Meta Ray-Ban second gen, it looks pretty much the same. I think it's got a little bit better battery life. The Oakley Vanguards, the camera is in the middle between both lenses instead of being on the left side, like the Meta Ray-Bans. And then as for the display ones, I don't know where the camera is located, but the fact that it's got a little display on the right side where you can see your notifications and read out loud, and it has a built-in screen reader, I think that's pretty sweet. But it's right now. It was announced, I think, a week or two ago, so it's still new. I'm sure we'll hear more about it in the next couple of months when people get their hands on them. We'll be able to hear more. I'm not buying another pair. I already have my Ray-Ban first gen. If these ever break, I might go ahead and go buy a new pair. But for now, I'm being very careful with my first gen Ray-Ban Metas because I don't want to break these suckers. Because when I bought them originally, they broke within a month, and I had to send them back to Ray-Bans to get repaired. And I finally got them back 5-6 months later, and I've been very careful with these.
How much do you use them?
It's more specific when I'm out and about walking. Okay. I'll use Voice Vista, and I'll have them on so I can ask, hey, when I'm walking, hey, is there something in front of me? I'm very careful when I ask them at AI because it's Facebook, and I trust them to a certain point, but I'm also they're getting my data. Even one thing, if you want to have weather, you have to give them full access to your location at all times. And I refuse to give Meta access to my location at all times. I know people might say, well, you have Facebook on your phone. And yeah, but I also close all my apps all the time. I never leave them running in the background specifically for that. I give limited access to a lot of stuff through each of these apps. So
I do. That's the one thing that I like about iOS, that things are sandboxed.
Yeah, so I'm just more careful. But when it comes to the Meta Ray-Bans, I'm not going to ask you, hey, what's my credit card bill? It's more hey, what am I holding? Hey, do you see something in front of me? So it's more when I'm out and about somewhere, if I'm walking somewhere and I need, hey, is there something in front of me? Is there somebody walking in front of me? It's mainly for that. But for the most part, I don't use them as extensively. I use them the same way I use my Bose frames. It was just when I'm out and about, I have the Voice Vista app, or at the time was Microsoft Soundscape. That's pumping in my ear, so I can have the call outs of all my points of interests. And I have in the Meta, I can say, hey, Meta, like, what am I looking at? Or if I'm walking on the sidewalk, I'm like, hey, is there somebody on the sidewalk in front of me, just to make sure I'm not going to bump into anything. But again, like, because it's AI, I take what it says with a grain of salt, because I've had before where I've walked on the road where there's no sidewalks, and I said, hey, are there cars parked on the right side of the road? Nope, there are no cars parked right inside of on the side of the road. And like 5 seconds later, wham, right into a bumper. I'm like, yeah, there's a car right in front of me. I look, it's great. It's a great tool to have. Like any AI, I don't heavily. I'll ask it stuff, but I'll take what it says with a grain of salt. Because again, like I seem to have a really bad experience with AIs where I'm asking it questions, it gives me an answer. I'm like, are you sure? And they're like, well, actually it's this here. So it's like, it never seems to give me the right answer all the time. So that's why I'm like, I'll ask it stuff and I'll follow up, but I might not basically believe it, every word it says. So, but having an SDK, having a built-in screen reader, that was one thing I was afraid with the display, that the Ray-Ban Meta display, is that it wouldn't have a built-in screen reader, but it does. And it has enlarged print, and it's going to have the SDK, which is a pretty sweet. Like, I'm surprised Facebook did this, because Facebook, these were, I guess, maybe because when they first came out, they were mainly for the sighted people. And then they realized, oh, blind people are using this a lot. Because you look at some of like the Celeste glasses and all these other brands, they're so expensive. Like the price is not, and then I think Celeste stopped making their glasses now. But assistive technology is always expensive. And these Ray-Bans are like within most people's budgets. Like they're not like 1,000 or 2,000 compared to assistive devices, like $500. And yeah, it's a lot of money, but most blind people might be able to save up a bit and get a pair. And then that can help them, they can help them change their lives. And also, like for me, what I like about the Meta is, I haven't used it in a while, but if I'm lost somewhere, I can actually call somebody on WhatsApp, share my camera, and they can see what I see. And that's something I find pretty useful as well. But I haven't used that as much. It's more like walk around, soundscape in my ear, and hey, Meta, is there something in front of me? And that's primarily what I use them for when I'm out and about.
Yeah, no, I was I took them once on my bike, and I was like heading back home, and there was a bridge in front of me, and then I saw that, oh, you know what, this is going to be a great time to take a photo, because the bridge was like the sunset was like on the bridge, and it looked really, really cool. I took the picture, but a stupid bus came out of the from the back and ruined it. Completely ruined my photo. At first, I accidentally held the button, so I started recording a video, so I had to stop it and then resume it. I was waiting at a red light. As soon as it hit green, I hit the shutter button, and then the bus came in the way. I'm like, no.
Oh, that sucks.
But kind of ruined it. But that was when I was heading back home. But when I was going back to Fresco here, and I was asking, do you see, I think I was looking some sort of bread or something. And I'm like, do you see this kind of bread? Sorry, you had to allow your location to always before I can help you with that. I'm like, why?
I find that irritating. I'm like, no. And even
I see why they do that. I think that the reason why they want that information is for privacy reasons. If you're like in a public spot, they don't want people like, but it's a public thing though.
No, I think it's more because certain areas like in UK or in Europe, like they have the European Union, and in the States and Canada, like there might be certain provinces or states or regions that don't allow AI. So having that on, it actually might restrict some of the features. I'm not too sure exactly the details, but look, I don't give them full location. I'm like, and it still works. I can have the app closed and still use the Meta AI through the glasses without having the Meta AI app.
Does Live AI work for you?
Yeah, I had that working for a while. I'm not sure if I made it work without the app running or not, but I did have it running. It's not like at the time I thought it would be kind of cool. But it's not where it tells you on its own. You have to, basically what it is it's always listening, it's always looking, and you don't have to use the wake word. You just say, hey, what am I looking at? And is there something, like, you don't have to say, hey, Meta, you just ask it a question and it'll respond. But doing that will also drain the battery a little bit more. Translation worked really well. Again, I used it when it first came out. I haven't used it since because most of the time it's like the only languages you have in Canada and Ottawa primarily it's English and French, and I'm bilingual, so I don't really need to translate in French because I speak French really well. So, but anyway, so that's pretty much the Meta Ray-Bans. Hopefully we'll hear more down the road, but we ought to also move along. But we have the Bring app that you brought up, which is a good grocery app, which I actually had for a while, and I end up switching to the Reminders app because I have HomePods everywhere, and I can't really ask the HomePods to add this to the Bring app. So I just figured Reminders, I just add stuff to the Reminders list. I have a groceries list that's in the Reminders app, and I just add them there. And I share that list with my niece, who helps me out with groceries every once in a while. So I kind of stopped using the Bring app, but I can see how it can be beneficial to some people.
Yeah, no, because my mom would ask me, then she will call my brother, then she'll call my dad. I'm going grocery shopping. Do you need anything? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you know what? Just set up this and just boom. Now you call it a day. It's good. The thing is, it's just a visual thing. Like it's red. The item is red at the top if you need to buy it. If you don't, you have different categories. You can add things. You can create lists of, where, I know you could do the same thing with kind of reminders, but I don't know. It's just a visual thing. It's just better. I don't know.
Yeah, that's fine. We're both different. You're low vision. I'm blind completely. So we have a different.
No, I'm saying that reminders will work too. Like, no problem. Yeah. It can do that the same. It can definitely serve the same purpose.
Does Bring have a skill on the Alexa though?
I think so. Maybe.
So that way you can actually ask your speakers, "Hey, add this to the grocery list," and it would automatically send it to the Bring app.
Never looked. Actually, that's actually a good question. I can.
So that way you wouldn't have to use your phone. You could just add the Alexa speakers.
Yeah, and then even if it's my phone, I can just say, "Hey, slow-mo."
Yeah, yeah, but your parents might be able to just ask the HomePod the Alexa speakers, and that way they don't have to take their phone out. They don't have to ask.
Yeah, because right now it's kind of annoying. Even with Siri on the phone, you have to say something like, "Hey Shlomo, add this to my," add this to my Bring shopping list.
Say that 5 times fast.
Exactly, but it's so complicated. Like Siri needs to be simple now. I see what Apple's trying to do with privacy, whatever, but all these little loopholes in the beginning was okay because you couldn't do much with it, and we weren't expecting Siri to do too much. But now that OpenAI and other LLMs, Siri is
just say LMs, language models,
large language models. Yeah. Anyway, but Siri needs to catch up now at this point. Like, they are behind, and it's kind of annoying because if you do have a Siri shortcut for a certain thing, you have to say that exact phrase and you have to have it memorized. For example, there are I have Broadlink. That's like a RF and AR remote thing. It doesn't have native Apple HomeKit support, but it does have Siri shortcut support. But it does work with Alexa natively. But I can make it work with HomeKit if I set everything up with Home Assistant. I yet to do that, but it's kind of annoying because I have to say a specific phrase where it's named something else on Alexa, but it's named differently on my iPhone. And if I try to say the same phrase on that's set to Alexa, then it doesn't do anything. So it's like, sorry, you don't have that in your My Sweet Home, because I named my house My Sweet Home. So
say Home Sweet Home.
Home Sweet Home. My Sweet Home. I don't know. But yeah, Broadlink is a pretty cool thing, though. I kind of like it.
Well, as I said, if anybody's looking for a good grocery app, Bring app. I did like it. It is very accessible. I remember that. Oh, yeah. But if anybody's looking for a good grocery app to share with family and be able to, help each other out to make sure you're buying the stuff at the grocery store, then yeah, definitely check it out.
A little tip for them I could maybe give Bring is, because they do have the ability so you can put all of your gift cards in the app.
Okay.
I wish you could add flyers, because my mom likes to make price match things, and you can save a lot throughout the years if you do price match, right? And when I first showed this app to her, she didn't want to use it because she had her own flyers app that she used, or a different app that she used price matching with, and there was a list that she could build in those apps instead, but that wasn't being shared with anybody else. With Bring, at least, it's shared, but then now she doesn't have the flyer thing. So I wish they could add the flyer thing.
Well.
You can't have everything. I'm just asking for too much. But yeah.
But all right, moving on. One last thing on the list. I did this recently. I did not know this. You might not be aware, but on Android, I was an Android user for a bit. Primarily, like my personal phone was iPhone. My work phone, I had both Android and iPhone. I did like a lot of stuff about the Android phones, Pixel and Samsung, you name it. One thing that I did know about is that on the Android, you can change the UI. And if you have for example, I think the Samsung is the U1 UI that they have. Pixel has their own launcher that they use. So basically think of the launcher as the user interface of your phone, how your things are structured, how things are laid out. And one of the more popular, more accessible launchers was Nova. And I remember having that on one of I think it was my Pixel 3 that I bought for my sister. And it was kind of cool. It actually was very accessible. It's simplified, especially I think on a Samsung, because you have a lot of bloatware on the Samsung, and having the Nova launcher, it kind of hides a lot of the Samsung stuff, or I think it allows you to remove them. I'm not too sure how it worked. It's been a while. But it was kind of nice. You could just install this launcher and it would change the whole UI of your phone, the look, and it'd be sweet. But what I heard recently is that Nova Launcher is no more, which is sad because it was a very popular, very accessible launcher that a lot of blind people used, but is unfortunately no more. Kind of sucks. I haven't played with an Android in quite a couple of years now, but it's sad. It's still sad to see, devices, or not devices, but software like that go away. But I'm sure there's probably reasons. I'm not too sure what the details are, but it's still pretty sad to see something like that go.
Oh yeah, I actually had another question. You used to use an app called CanFB Reader, right?
Yeah, I got that for free, actually.
I know you did, but no. So that app, does it exist anymore?
I don't know,
because I couldn't find it in the App Store anymore. Because I know that it was like $100 something. But why do these developers? I understand sometimes they don't want to work on the project anymore or whatever. But when someone spent about $100+, the same thing kind of goes with Nearby Explorer. Now the online version was free, and the offline version wasn't free, and people spent a lot of money on it. Both of them are gone.
But that's the risk you have when you buy an app. You hope it's going to be there for a while, but you just never really know. The Bring app, that might not be there forever. You buy. Well,
no, that's fine because it was free. I feel like people who spent money on these things, at least, especially hundreds of dollars on this.
Yeah, but Apple can't control the developers. The developers can't do it anymore. Decide whatever reason developers have for stopping.
Can they not hand it on to another business or something?
There could be a number of things. I'm not going to sit here and judge a developer, because again, there's a lot of work that goes in behind that kind of stuff.
I agree with them. Yeah, definitely.
We can't just to try to do what they do. It's a lot of work, a lot of maintenance, a lot of hours that they do to maintain an application, update it, make sure that it's accessible. So it's a lot of work, and for whatever reason, developers decide to stop. That's their choice, and that's their right to choose to stop if they want to. Now, does it suck? Yeah, of course it sucks. Apple can't control that. They can't decide whether a developer stops or but if the developer decides to stop, and that's always a risk you have. If you buy a software, there's always you hope it stays and you use it for as long as you can. And if one day the developer decides to hitch up his tent and go and leave, then yeah, it sucks. But you kind of have no choice. There's nothing you can do. You'll just have to find another app alternative that does the job, and that's it. There's one app I used to love, and it actually ties into the CanFB Reader. I used to use an app called App Shopper, and basically what it would do is it would link into the Apple App Store, and you can have an app add to favorites, and you could be notified when that app dropped in price. And when the CanFB Reader, one day they decided to update the app from $100 to free because they were adding an in-app subscription, $200. I got the notification. I downloaded the app. That was great. I was like, all right, cool. I'll be able to play around with it, because I couldn't try it out unless if I bought it. And when they decided to go a subscription route, I'm like, all right, I'll download it. I'll have it on my phone. I'll play around with it. If I ever decide I want to use it more, I can always buy it if I need to. But I'm like, I don't think I'll spend $100. I'm cheap. But then I think it was a few days to a week later, there's an update. I'm like, all right, cool. And I update the app and I open it up again. The subscription part is gone. They updated the app and they went from having a subscription for it to be free with a subscription to going back to $100.
Oh,
but I already bought the app. It was in my purchase history.
Yeah.
So when they updated the app, instead of coming up with a new app altogether, they just updated the existing app.
Yeah.
So I end up having the app for free, completely unlocked. Because I remember seeing like, oh, okay, it's locked. If I want to unlock it, you have to pay the $100. And then when they did the update, I'm looking for the. I was like, what's the price again?
So do you still have it on your phone though?
No. The app is gone a long time ago. Like this.
Like I have apps on my phone that still work. Yeah, they don't get any updates, but it still works. But even if I like switch phones and transfer my data over, it does end up downloading fine. Mm-hmm. It's just that I can't find the app in the App Store anymore.
Yeah.
So
that's the thing. It's like I have a lot of apps that I probably should remove, but a lot of games specifically. But I don't know. I didn't have any use for it. With seeing AI and all the other apps that came out, I'm like, I just deleted it. There's a lot of apps. I just try to clean my apps as much as I can because, again, limited space. Granted, I still have quite a space left, but it's just. But anyways, it's you have always that risk when you buy an app that it might go away. It might last a year, might last 5, might last 10. You just don't know when you buy an app, and that's the risk you take. So, but anyway, so that's pretty much what we have for this wonderful episode. So I don't know if you want to add anything else, or
I just lost the Nearby Explorer app. I don't have it on the side.
Oh, that sucks. So,
anyways, I did visit.
If anybody has, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that's all for me. I don't have any other things to say. Okay. So yeah, you can close it off.
Yeah. So yeah, if anybody wants to reach out to us, email, please. Like reach out to us, man. Like it's pretty quiet. Our mailbox is empty. Anybody has any questions or comments, or you just want to tell us we're idiots or we're awesome, you can reach us at eyebytespodcast@gmail.com. You can follow us on X as well, I think at eyebytespodcast. And you can find us on YouTube at eyebytes alone. I think we're also on Mastodon. If you look for me on Mastodon, I am that blind Canuck at dragonscave.space, I think.
Yeah, that's what you have.
And you, I have no idea what yours is.
I don't even know what mine is. I remember yours. I don't remember mine. So yeah.
Yeah, because I remember mine, so I repeat mine all the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can find us on there, no problem.
I'm on X. You can find me on Sajandeep _ last name, but.
Okay, well, there you go.
It's those of you who know my last name.
Yeah. But yeah, you can reach us all those other ways. And yeah, thank you guys for joining us this month, I should say. And we'll talk to you guys next month.
Later.